remember reading this book and it has stuck to me for all good reasons, which is Peacock in the Land of Penguins, or something similar. It's a brilliant book, and I'll just take a few seconds to talk about that book, right? If you just look at the cover page of it, every penguin is in the black and white suit. And there is this peacock with brilliant feathers and colors. So at some point of time, penguins decide, hey, we need to have a diverse thought, diverse person. They bring in this peacock, and peacock is all colorful, brings a lot of energy, brings a lot of thoughts. But penguins are like, this is not who we want. And peacock tries and tries and tries and then says, should I become a penguin? Right? And it's a small book, but brilliantly well written.
Yeah.
So as long as we ourselves are penguins, no matter how many peacocks we bring in, and we've built a forte of penguins, we don't change anything. So I think psychological safety is very key to changing this. And I have seen that personally change, right? Where I have been part of the teams where I've been blessed to have some managers who have brought in that safety. And they never made us feel that you're so-and-so, you're male, you're female. It's just that you are here to deliver the best outcome. And go experiment, fail. I'm there to protect you. So there's no discussion of gender anywhere. It's just being inclusive. Moment we start to bifurcate, that's where the problem starts. It's, it's how do we just remove that barrier and just make everybody feel they are equal. That's very, very important. And then also giving ownership. We also have come with this preconceived bias or notion saying that, hey, he or she might not be able to do something, right? How do we give ownership? It's okay. It's okay to fail. I think it's a misconception that everybody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. We all make mistakes. We all have to learn from that mistake. Giving that ownership and giving the opportunity of representation with it. Because representation without ownership is hollow. You just make somebody a peacock and ask them to sit there, which doesn't mean anything, right? Just for example, empowering local managers to hire. We often say, this is a position, but we need all chain of people to approve. And we also go to global teams saying, hey, approve somebody from India. But the culture in India is very, very different. Right? How do we start making these small changes? Ultimately, it's designing a system where people don't have to fight to be heard. They are heard. Right? That's what matters. And how do we start moving that needle is where I think it all starts from within. Simple things like sponsoring people to do things beyond. Not everybody needs to do the same thing. Or just hearing them out and saying, okay, I'm listening to you, I'm there. And creating that safety net for people. That's important. Feedback culture, not just downwards, but upwards. That changes the game a lot. How do we observe microaggression? How do we create whole audit around microaggression behavior and start fine-tuning that? Because these are small nuances that can put off people. And be able to... Sorry.
No, I was just thinking, and sometimes in order to be politically correct, I think that frank and direct supportive feedback does not come through, which may happen in that more casual after work sutta session or bar session, those kind of things. So I think that is also an art, how to give the right feedback that doesn't lead to, because sometimes people hold back thinking if I say this, it will get misconstrued and may lead to some other, unwanted repercussions. Yeah.
And silence at the same time is very dangerous.
Yeah.
Especially in the big teams, we just need to be cognizant of why somebody is always quiet. Have they been sidelined? We just constantly need to observe that. There are a lot of times, like going back to the culture that we talked about, right? Where we are not taught to challenge in school days. We are not taught to challenge parents. We have often seen people say, yes, yeah, we'll do it, and don't necessarily challenge. Observing those patterns and then having a deeper discussions with them, saying, hey, it's okay, you have to come outright and say this is not possible. Not just in terms of delivery, right? But crafting that individual and systematic growth loops where, as a leader, you build that culture, and then you have that succession or the managerial layer where they are also able to bring that individual focus in terms of, we need to see that learning shaping up. We need to see that mastery coming up, not necessarily in terms of just delivery, but in terms of everything that we do. And that is part of how we build that inclusive culture, is how I see it. It's not about psychological safety, is not about being nice. It should never be construed as, hey, I'm all good to you, I'm all nice, I'll always speak flowery language. It's really about creating that environment or culture or climate where truth can be spoken and learning can actually thrive. And as leadership job is to invite that truth, not just agreement. It's really moving away from I know it all culture to I learn it all culture. Because when I say I am vulnerable, I am going to learn from what you are going to say, instead of saying, hey, I know it and you listen to me. I think that changes how everybody perceives us. And rewarding those behaviors is also important, not just outcome, because there are high performers who will deliver everything really well, but the behavior might not be what we want, right? So while outcome is always rewarded, how do we start recognizing that behavior? Because there are people who will go out of the way to do things. They are more inclusive leaders. So do we build outcome driven leaders, or do we also bring in behavioral leaders? Because these are complementary skills we will need to build the right culture of the organization. So it's really about managing the emotional climate in what really happens at work, not just managing work. Did I?
Ravi, you must have seen this a lot in your leadership talent pipeline.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was just thinking whether I should actually say it or not, because every time I'm listening to you, Saraswathi or Nidhi, something which Pankaj has said or Atif has said is coming to my mind. So recently, just 2 weeks back, we did a dual lens with both Pankaj and Atif, and Atif had a question. The second segment is questioning. And he said, I find it very strange that, Pankaj, you are conversant with everyone across the board. All the teams are perfectly aligned to what you normally say. I don't see people, conflict doesn't actually arise with Pankaj. Why is it? How is it that you're able to manage? So, I mean, he did answer. I don't want to reveal that because it's yet to be released kind of a video. But I think, as you rightly said, I think it starts from the top. If the leader has the maturity to understand that he or she is a learner, and everyone is in the pipeline also developing their own talent, right? He actually gives, and you spoke about it, that we need to let people fail. I sit in talent management. We can't have everyone successful, right? The most of the learning actually happens when someone actually fails. And if we don't allow failure in our system, in our talent management system, putting people on PIP when they fail, what are we telling the entire organization? That this guy has failed, so we're putting on a PIP, which means, everyone is afraid. They think we have to be successful every time, and humanly it's impossible. So I think mature leaders on the top always actually help drive the learning agility. From a talent manager perspective, we love such leaders a lot. So much to learn. So yeah, that's just...
And one thing why everybody is so comfortable with Pankaj is because he's not judgmental. And that, I think, is a great leadership quality, right? If we have that preconceived judgmental attitude, nobody wants to come because they don't have that safety to be able to talk. So I think there's lots to learn from him anyways.